Hello, welcome. This is the presentation of styled-ppx static extraction, and I want to do a video about it. It's a big release. It's a project that I have been working for a long time, and I envisioned this shape since the beginning of the project, almost 4 years ago. And the idea is right now styled-ppx relies on emotion to do all the client side CSS hashing and style sheet management. It does gets all your styles and creates unique class names into the header and does all sorts of things. But I think we can do better. Emotion has been stable for a long time, and we have implemented this same functionality on the server. So server-side rendering can do all the style management and then inject the class names so emotion can hydrate them. And this has been working very, very good. But now that we have a native implementation of emotion, we can not run it at runtime and run it at compile time. And this is where static extraction comes in, which you want, or at least for styled-ppx, I want the best of both worlds. You want inline styles in CSS syntax. You want a little bit of type safety. So when you work with interpolation or when you work with static properties, a little bit of type safety is very good for agents and for humans. And third is you want the best performance. You don't want to pay the price to have some runtime that creates your values and appends them during the load of your app, because that can of course penalize in bundle size, but as well as runtime performance. So let's see. Current implementation of styled-ppx uses CX extension. It expands these CSS declarations into emotion bindings that run emotion, generate a unique class name, which is a string. And with the string, you can use it in a class name and you can style your elements. What I have done, let me show you with code, is a new extension. That's a little bit of a spoiler. Let me clean it up though. So let's see if we have, we have like a demo. We have new extension just to not break other people extension from before. I like as well CSS more, and you can migrate safely, having both systems work side by side if you need to. But the interface is the same. Here you can have all sorts of properties, selectors, media queries, and all sorts of CSS inline. And the idea is that before you used to generate a class name, in this one, we don't generate a class name. Let me give it as a secret now, and I'm gonna explain how it works later. Once you run this, let me run it. Cool. When you run the build, you have Dune with a custom rule, sorry, that creates a new target. Custom rule, it just tells Dune, hey, do your build and do this extra work. This extra work is generating a static file once one of the dependencies changes. So every time that I glob for client here, just for demo of this video, you want to recompute this file every time that client changes, just this particular file, and the command to execute is going to be styled-ppx.generate. You need, of course, the target and then the dependencies. Similar with what we have with Melange, we run Melange in Dune, and then we have this extra rule to run ESBuild to minify and do the chunking and reshaking and all of this. So similar behavior. Once you run the build, as you can see, we have this extra file. This extra file has two fun things. One is all declarations are atomic, so have only one property. And the idea for this is that once your app grows, you don't want to grow your styles linearly. You want to dedupe all your styles because all class names are gonna be unique. So, and they are hashed by the content. So if you have two declarations that are the same, we're gonna reuse the declaration. So your style sheets are not gonna grow linearly. If you add another page, another application, another whatever, your styles should not grow the same speed, right? It should grow at the beginning, all the common properties, and then stay almost flat, maybe new properties. But you know what I mean. It is very bundle size respectable, if that's the word. And then the other one is that because we have atomic class names, specificity would not matter because you would have all of them in different properties and by order. So by order of appearance, you can merge them and whatnot. But by order of appearance, they're going to appear on the style sheet, so you not have any sort of issue with the specificity. And that is how the static extraction works. There's one fundamental issue. There's one fundamental feature of styled-ppx that these are interpolation. So interpolation here is you have this static hard-coded value as red, but let's say that we want it from a value, right? So here we say that the color property has the value color based on the program's value. So color is defined in OCaml in this case, but it's actually a JavaScript value or an OCaml in the server, some sort of a value on your program that you want to use it in your style sheets. That is very common for CSS and JS libraries. One of the good things of styled-ppx is that because we have information of your styles, we parse your styles, and we type check against your properties. It's a tiny thing, but I think it adds up. So here we only accept red, right? CSS is this API similar to the DOM that you can have red or you have pixels and then you can put 10 or whatever. And this of course fails, like you expect only a color here. Color cannot be assigned to pixel 10 or rem or any sort of thing. So you use the right value for the right property. Now, when you have this interpolation, styled-ppx static extraction becomes a problem because this value is not available in styles. In fact, this variable can be anywhere. It can come from the server, it can be dynamic, can be whatever, or even demo can be a function. So the trick here is, and it comes from Linaria or StyleX, we compile to CSS variables. Let me show you. So when we compile this file, this is the content. The property color now has a color variable hashed by the content of the variable, and is not defined in this file. It's expected to be defined later on the runtime. And that is the beauty of static extraction with CSS variables. It's a trick that, of course, I got inspired by StyleX, the Facebook UI library. And I'm applying the same way. I'm just a little bit different because I'm using CSS syntax here. So the crazy good thing about this thing is that it doesn't matter if it's a value or if it's a function. So demo here is a static, it's never gonna change. But let's say that we want to have it a function and depend the color based on a kind or whatever. I'm just making things up. So let me do the pattern matching, perfect. So now color is, you can set red, blue, green as a polyvariant. And the fun thing here with styled-ppx is that because we extract the actual CSS extension, we extract only this part, the output file has not changed. There are no differences between a function or a value in styled-ppx styles because this gets compiled into, on one side you have a class name, and then on the second one you have a variable that gets assigned as inline styles at runtime. And I think that's the beauty of the design. I think why it scales so well into any sort of structure you have in your code, because this is very common in any sort of design system or theming, or a value comes from the user preferences or any sort of thing like this. And the way to apply it, and I think that's a trick that is cute, is, so I think AI has spoiled it already. Let me see. Cool, let's do styles, cool. So this is, demo, I said, is a CSS style, is not a class name, is a tuple of the class name and these inline styles. That's how we are able to encode this. So you have first, you have second, and I'm getting the first and second, I'm destructuring the tuple. And the first one is a string, is this unique class name that we see with this class name plus this class name. And then the second one is line styles. Like it's gonna be this thing, right? You know what I mean? But it's gonna assign the value that is holding into the actual runtime. This is the bridge that connects both. Because both things have this internal reference that you as a user would not even need to care. I plug them together, and I don't expect anyone to access the first and second position of the tuple. That's why I created the styles in plural. Prop expansion, so this style is going to expand into class name and style, and you can do demo green in this case. And it's going to expand into the right values for you. What's important here is that if you also want class name or inline styles or whatever, it's possible. It is, of course, like corner cases, I think, like bindings to some library or maybe some custom class name or so whatnot. But the idea is that both are going to get merged. Class name is going to get, of course, later on the class name, and inline styles at the bottom. So you can overwrite anything if you ever need to, but the idea is that you can always use this style expansion. So this is styled-ppx. Of course, I left some limitations with all of this, but they are very tiny. I can do maybe a longer video later on what are those. But I'm looking forward for people to try this out. I think it's the best of both worlds, and I expect this to work very, very good. We migrated already our monorepo, which is, I don't know, like hundreds of declarations, and it has worked very, very well. And I have already battle tested a bit. So hopefully we can release 1.0 with all of these features, and you can try it out, give me feedback, and just poking around, I think will be insane. And if you build something with it, please let me know. I'm always happy to see products based on my products, whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching. These videos are a new thing for me. So if you are as well have some feedback of the audio quality or the speed or any sort of thing, I'm as well happy to hear them. And yeah, thank you for watching. I know that sounds very YouTubey, but I think I'm a YouTuber now. So see you.